I'm Kristin Omdahl and welcome back to my show. This is episode 916 and we're here live in Southwest Florida at the beach. This is the beautiful and relaxing Gulf of Mexico behind me. If you are joining me live, please say hello. If you end up watching the recorded version, please also feel welcome to say hello. If you have questions for me, please ask. We are live. If I can answer your question live, yay. If I can't, I will let you know, and we'll go from there. Hi Thea, good morning. Hi Lisa and Judy, Leona, Patricia. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hi Pamela. We'll wait a few minutes for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. Hi Lily and Mickey, Lori. Thanks Lori. This is the Margot top that I'm wearing today in Be So Baby yarn, color jade green. This is the short sleeve version, the short sleeve pullover version. It does come in a cardigan version as well, and there are options in both the cardigan version and the pullover version to make them into longer dress or duster lengths. There are also options for sleeve lengths. This is the short sleeve pullover version. I'm having trouble walking this morning. I hurt my foot yesterday, but I'm gonna get some shoes on so that I can back up so you can see. I'll explain my foot situation in a minute. Hold on, let me get a shoe on to protect my foot. I almost didn't even come to the beach because I didn't want to get my foot exposed. But anyway, this is the Margot pullover. I'm wearing it over my pink bodysuit and white cutoff jeans. But you could easily wear this over a dress and belt it. You could easily wear this over any pants, any blouse, any t-shirt, whatever. Camisole, you could wear it over anything. You could pick a color. This is Be So Baby yarn. It comes in 60 colors. You could wear it in complementary colors. You could wear it in contrasting colors. Today I thought it was fun to contrast it with the bubblegum pink bodysuit and the white shorts. But you've seen me wear this over navy and denim before as well. It looks good over anything. Whatever colors you like, they're good with whatever works in your wardrobe, usually because you always gravitate towards the same colors. And anytime you have trouble picking colors, the first place to look is your closet. See what colors you gravitate towards. You know, go through some of your photo albums and see what colors do you like when you like photos of yourself. I know we can be so harsh on ourselves, but you go through your own photo albums. Which photos do you like of yourself, or which photos do you hate the least of yourself? I know it's a struggle to have good body image, so self-body image, so it's okay. So however you want to word it for yourself, wherever you are in your self-discovery, it's okay. But think about which colors you think are most complimentary to you, or go in your closet and what are your favorite items? What color are they? There's lots of ways to investigate your own wardrobe to see what colors work for you. And then from there, look at what colors inspire you, right? Or maybe you're going for a theme. That's why I put together those color palettes last week, and I've done this before in the past as well. What colors speak to you? What colors inspire you? Sometimes it's good to get outside of your comfort zone and go with colors that inspire you. Having said that, I wanted to show you some of the I got inspired by picking out those 5 color palettes last week for the 5 color yarn kits for Be So Baby, and I pulled 3 of the color palettes to make some things. I'm going to show you which ones I picked, and they're not necessarily colors that I would normally gravitate towards. Some of them aren't, some of them are, but it's because the inspiration photo and the way the colors, I don't know, represented the inspiration photos, that they still gave me some inspiration as well. And so I'll start with, and I don't remember which one's which. You'll have to look for them on the page. But this is one of the beach. This one was one of the beach photos that had like a little lagoon and some mountains in it. And so these colors are peacock teal and gold, lime green. Let's see if I can hold these well. Lime green, then grass green, and dark sage. And these 5 colors are probably not colors that I would immediately go to for myself, but I was so inspired by all of it that I pulled these to put together a new pattern. And then the other 2 sets that I pulled, this is one of the florals. I don't remember which one, but it is one of the florals, so you can find it there. This is from this side. It's bubblegum pink, violet, lilac, eggplant, and watermelon. See, we could even put the pink and the purples next to each other. Here, let's get them in the order that I kind of like them. I like the deepest tones in the middle here. And then I'll say them to you again. And even still, I don't think without the inspiration photo I would have picked eggplant to go with all of this, but I absolutely love it now that I have. So from this side, it's bubblegum pink, watermelon, eggplant, violet, and lilac. So I pulled those to put a project together. And then you ready for the biggest surprise of all? So this one, I actually moved pretty quickly. So remember those Zen scarves that I did for Be So Fine Tidbits a while back, where I picked 5 colors of Be So Fine Tidbits and made some Zen scarves, knit and crochet? Well, I decided that this would be a great opportunity to do something like that for Be So Baby yarn. So the difference being that I would have to make a new pattern because it's 2 completely different weights of yarn. Be So Fine and Be So Fine Tidbits are #1 fingering weight, and Be So Baby is #3 DK weight. So I decided to just go and make a completely different pattern instead of modify it. And so this is the colorway Tiles #1 on the 5 color yarn kit. And so in these 5 colors, and I'm not done yet, obviously, I'm still on my 5th color here. This is salmon, gold, turquoise, prince, and indigo. How beautiful are they together, right? Isn't that beautiful? And it's 5 different stitch patterns that I combined to be complementary in their multiples to make it nice and easy. And nothing is super difficult here. There's some super simple patterns. It's definitely going to be another Zen type project, but isn't that pretty? So I'm just deciding how big I'm going to make it. It's fairly wide now, which I love. So if, no, I don't separate them into bags, Kathy, but they're all there and you can see which colors went with what. So this is, again, this is Tiles #1, which is salmon, gold, turquoise, prince, and indigo. And this, if I keep it this size and just add edging to the short edges, it will be a 2-ball project. If I go bigger to make it wider this way, it would dip into 3 or 4 balls per color. And I just haven't decided what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to add an edging along the bottom here. I thought it would be interesting to do a chain fringe, but match up the colors. So on the row ends of indigo, add the indigo for fringe. On the row ends of prince, add prince for the fringe, and so on, and match all the fringe with the actual end of row color. I thought that might be interesting and a great way to evenly use the 5 colors. So when you're making a project that uses multiple colors, in order to use the equal number of each, the same amount of each color, everything has to be even, right? It gets really complicated when you do stripes, but then decide to do an edging in one of the colors. Okay, well now you're not evenly using all 5 colors. So to try to keep it evenly dispersed for all 5, I thought doing the fringe in each, to match each of the stripes would be the best way to be most efficient with the yarn. And so that's what I'll be doing. And I think I'm going to end this at the end of this stripe and then add the fringe. And then it will be just, you know, a very generous size scarf that could also be worn as a wrap. But if you wanted to dip into 3 or 4 colors per ball, you could double these stripes and then make something that could be a generous wrap that could also then be butterfly clipped or sewn to be a poncho. So I will give those options in the pattern, but you will need to double the yarn in order to double the stripes and double the size. Hopefully that makes sense. So the pattern will come with 2 options, and I believe I'm going to stop at the end of the first option. Hopefully that makes sense. Isn't that a nice surprise? Sure, I can style a wrap different ways, Judy, and I've done it many times. I don't have a finished piece to show you today, and honestly, my foot just isn't healthy enough to do it today. I've done it many, many times here. You can find videos on styling scarves and styling cardi wraps. Here on my YouTube channel, I do have some styling videos, and I believe I even have a styling playlist. And I'm more than happy to do it again just as soon as my foot heals. So remember yesterday I was going to record a beach walk video to the end of that rock jetty after we finished the show, and I thought I was going to be really smart and responsible and throw on flip-flops so that I wouldn't hurt my feet on the rock jetty, and you'll have to watch that video to see if I made it up the rock jetty or not. It's a really difficult area to climb. For me anyway. It's a little steeper than it may look. More steeper, I'm not sure. It's a little steeper than it looks, and there's no room for error when you're walking up rocks, and definitely not walking down rocks. But that's not even where I hurt myself. Apparently, somehow, and I've walked in sand with flip-flops before, somehow I damaged this entire skin area between my big toe and my second toe. I rubbed my foot raw deeply in that whole area. Like, I don't even know how I did it. I rubbed the whole area raw, but deeply, not just like a couple layers of skin, a lot of skin. And while it was sore and everything, whatever, I just kept readjusting, thinking, okay, my foot's on the wrong spot on my flip-flop. Got home, progressively got worse all day. By last night, my foot was so swollen, I started wondering if I broke my toe, dislocated my toe, got a weird bug bite while rubbing my foot raw. Like, it got bad last night. So instead of panicking, I tried to stay calm. I soaked my foot in Epsom salt. What else did I do? Put some peroxide on it. What else did I do? I did something else. Oh, and I iced it, and it ended up being, the swelling went down, and today it's just back to a normal pain. Last night I was scared that I'd really hurt myself, and today I just have like a really, really bad popped blister, but it's like this big. It's the entire area between both toes. So like I said, I almost didn't come to the beach because I really didn't want to get any sand in there, but I brought my own ballet flats, which I thought would be better protection, even though I ended up taking them off to sit on my towel, but whatever. Excuse me. Anyway, I see Judy's posting links. Thanks, Judy. I know everybody's excited about what I show and wants links, and Judy's been working ever so hard getting those links up, so thank you. And you don't have to follow the links immediately. You could stay and listen to me because Judy does share all those links in the show notes after the show is no longer live. So you know there's that red live button on top while we're live. When this goes to a recording every day, we have the ability to edit that video description, and in the top of the video description, Judy puts all the links of what I talk about. So you can always, if you don't want to miss anything that I say, you can always go back a few minutes after the recording is over and check out those show notes, and you can find all the links there as well. And if you still can't find what you're looking for, you can always leave me a comment in the fixed video comments. I get notified of those throughout the day, and as you can see on any video, I reply to all of those comments, or you can contact Judy through customer service. So however you need help, we're here to help you as best as we can. All right, does anybody have any questions? Hi, Sabrina. What else was I going to show you? Oh, I was going to show you another project that I'm working on, and I was going to show you what some of my notes look like. So here's a note. Remember when I was redoing the Blake Sampler Afghan to make a housewarming present for Marlon's girlfriend? This is how I designed the edging for around. This is how I designed the edging for around her blanket. I drew it out first. I know people ask all the time, how do you design? Do you start here? Do you start there? I start in whatever makes sense for the project. I don't necessarily write things out before I start. I don't necessarily always start before writing things out. It depends on the item. It depends on where I am. I could not be home or near a computer or near paper and pen, so it just depends on what kind of tools I have around me and how the inspiration is coming to me. Sometimes it comes to me more texturally, and sometimes it comes to me more mathematically, and this one happened to be more mathematically, so I drew out the chart there. This is actually some information on an upcoming design that I can't tell you about. So there is a rectangle with a half circle on the side of it. Can you wonder, what do you think that could be for? Does anybody have any guesses? It's cute, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so I did the math to figure out how to make, so this isn't a seam here, this is continuous. It is a rectangle with a half circle side on it. So it is a shape that is rectangular on one side and half circle on the other. And so I wanted to mathematically create that shape before starting with the yarn, and it was worth every second of working it out on paper first so that I didn't have to do too many trial and errors. No, it's not a tree skirt. I'm not sure how that would be a tree skirt. I guess maybe if you wrapped it and overlapped it. Yeah, but anyway, and then these are the color stripes that I worked out. Oh, I just gave another hint. It's also striped in colors, so lots of work on that one, but super cute, and it turned out exactly the way I wanted it, so yay! Okay, what else? What other kind of juicy tidbits do I have in here? Nothing. I grabbed a pen though. Did I drop it? Oh shoot, I was gonna draw something for you on here, and now I don't see it. All right, I'm gonna put those balls, the other little balls of yarn away first so I can see where I'm at. I did grab a pen because I threaded, there it is. I threaded it right onto the paper. Okay, so next I wanted to show you my progress on the Be So Easy knit cardi wrap that I'm working on. I'm going to show it to you upside down first so that you can see what we talked about the other day. See how there's two slits? That's the top. I'm holding it upside down, but can you see how those are slits into it? So normally we make large buttonholes to create armholes when we make a cardi wrap, but I did this one a little bit differently because I thought there might be a, you know, variation is fun. So now I'm going to show you on paper what I did here. So first I'm going to draw that shape. Obviously not perfectly, just giving you an idea here. So there's the shape that I knitted, okay? And if you understand this conceptually, by all means, use this for knit or crochet or weaving or sewing or whatever you want to make. This is a math theory that I came up with that would work for any two-dimensional creation that you wanted to do. And if you're, I mean, I share tips on here all the time. Use them, take them. That's what the whole point. We create, share, and inspire here. So if you want to run with this, great. If you want to wait till the pattern comes out, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. So for me, I decided to cast on, and this would apply to crochet as well, I cast on this short edge here and worked this way. Bound off along this row, then came back and cast back on, same number of stitches so that I could create that slit. Then worked back and forth in my full rows, then bound off for the armhole on this row, then came back up and cast back on the same number of stitches so that I can continue working back and forth in rows to make the full size of the wrap. Then I'm going to bind off on this edge, but instead of fastening off, I'm going to turn my work then to pick up and knit along this edge. This is exact for this edge. That's exactly what we did on the Aurora Cardi Wrap, the Cardi Wrap that I did in Be So Vivid yarn, and I just released a video recently where okay, so let's show contrast and similarities. We did 3 squares on that one. We did 3 separate squares on that one, and then we picked up and crocheted along the top edge here, then along the side, then along the bottom edge, then along this edge, which created these gaps here between these as armholes. Now that made them rather large, so then your opportunity then was to sew up however much of those gaps to create whatever size armhole you needed. And that's how it gives you the customization to make different sizes. Now for this one, that's slightly different. We just did it those slits on the one side. So now, as I'm going to pick up and knit along this edge, just the act of picking up and knitting across all 3 will seam those 3 sections together so that there will be completely encircled armhole openings. And then what I'm going to do is go back and forth in rows, probably with some wrap and turn to create some shaping. because I want that collar to be a shawl collar, so it'll come up like that and then come back down. Well, having a hard time drawing evenly this morning. So these would be straight and it'll be curved in there so that it will be a shawl collar around the top. So that's the theory. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I'll be back to the drawing board, but that's okay. That's part of being creative, is that we do trial and error, we make experiments, and we learn from our victories, but more importantly, we learn from our mistakes. So it doesn't matter. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, then I go back to the drawing board. But it seems like it'll work out great. And here's part of the reason why it most likely will, because I have experience, right? The more you do something, the more mistakes you've already learned from. It's one thing as a beginner, you make your mistakes to learn your way, but you can build on those over time. And that's why the longer you do something, you get better at it, because you've had more mistakes to learn from, if you allow yourself to learn from mistakes. Not everybody does, and that's okay too. And it's okay to only like to follow patterns. There's no reason that just because I like to explore theory and things like that, it doesn't mean that that's superior to following patterns. You know, if people didn't love to follow patterns, my job wouldn't exist. So, or that part of my job wouldn't exist. So there's no wrong way to be creative. You can be creative in so many different ways. And for those of you that like to see the theory side, I'm sharing it with you. And those that don't, that's fine. This pattern will be out soon. Either way, it's going to be adorable. It's going to be figure flattering. It's going to have amazing drape, and we're all going to love to wear it. So we're all going to love to make it, and we're all going to love to wear it. So it's win-win. Does anybody have any questions? I know I've received several questions about what I'm wearing. I did share what I'm wearing, and Judy has shared links in the beginning of the show. All of the information will be in the show notes, but those that think that want to hear it now, this is the Margot Crochet Pullover, and this is in Biso Baby Yarn in color Jade Green. You can find all of the information on my website. You can get the pattern, comes in lots of sizes. You can also get the yarn there. Biso Baby Yarn comes in 60 colors and is sold exclusively on my website. Thanks, Karen. Does anybody have any other questions? Don't be shy if you have questions. If I have answers, I'll answer them. If I don't, I'll tell you why. There's one of my biggest, what yarn am I designing it in? I'm not sure what you mean by it. Maybe you mean this one. This is Be So Easy yarn in color fuchsia. This is number 5 bulky weight yarn that is sold also exclusively on my website. All my yarns are sold exclusively on my website. They are not sold anywhere else. I do not wholesale to shops. I do not sell them anywhere. So if you like my yarns, they're available exclusively on my website. This is color fuchsia and Be So Easy yarn, my number 5 bulky weight yarn, and I'm using size 9mm. The cardigan on the paper. I am not showing a cardigan on the paper. I am showing the concept for what I am doing with this cardi wrap, and that is in Be So Easy yarn. Yeah, you're welcome. You know, for me, I'm here the whole time, right? I start at 9 and I stay till 9:30, and so I know everything that I've said throughout. And what's 915 episodes? Come on, Kristin. Let's try to remember this by now. I realize not everyone is here with me for the whole 30 minutes. I realize that. And you know, some people come in at certain times, some people come in later. Some people ask questions about something I talked about 5, 10, 15, or 20 minutes ago. Some people are asking about what I'm talking about right now, and it does get kind of confusing, and there is a lot to try to understand. And sometimes I may not understand your question because it feels out of context to me. Because, like, for example, the person asking right now is asking about a different picture that I showed several minutes ago, which was that rectangle with the half circle on the end of it. I had no idea that's what she meant, and I'm not making a bad example out of you. Please don't take it personally. I'm explaining why sometimes my answer doesn't seem to coincide with what you're asking. It's because it feels out of context to me because I've talked about other things since. There is no right or wrong way to do this. We're live, and sometimes it seems like I'm answering the wrong questions. Sometimes it seems like I'm answering the right questions, but it's really just based on context of where I'm at and what I think you're asking about. So when questions are somewhat vague, and not about what I'm talking about right now, it gets difficult for me to understand. And I'm not saying that anyone does anything wrong, and I certainly encourage all questions, but I'm just explaining that sometimes if I don't answer your question correctly, it's because of that. Is it going to be a cape? No, it's not a cape. Nope. The half circle / rectangle drawing is not a cape. It's not a tree skirt. In fact, it's nothing that anybody has guessed yet. How's that? How's that for a stinker of a hint? I think it's quite hard to guess, to be honest with you. So let's see. Does anybody have any other questions? Bag and purse. Yes, you guys are getting closer. Yeah, in fact, I will explain it, because if anybody wants to go crazy on it right now and get started, this is for making an envelope clutch that so this rectangle section here, see my fold line there? It's to fold it over so that it closes, and then this is the rounded flap that would close over again. So it's an envelope clutch that would fold this way and that way. Let's say this section and this section are your rectangle, and this section is the half circle. The rectangle would fold in half, and you'd sew up this side and that side for the bag, and then this flap pops over. So a rectangle with a half circle would be really a beautiful one-piece design for any type of a bag. So whether you did a small clutch or made, like someone else said, a laptop case, depending on your dimensions, you could make it any size to be a messenger bag, a laptop case, any type of a purse, or how much are the yarn kits? You mean how much do they cost? Just follow the link and you can see what's included in the kits and what they cost. Biso baby yarn is $3.99 a ball, and the kit comes with lots of special value add things. So just follow the link and you can see all of the beautiful colors. What's the best way to add a hood on a cardi? If you don't know how to add a hood, you will definitely want to explore some hood patterns and see what how many yards per ball, or how many yards per kit. It's 145 yards per ball times 5 balls. But just follow the link. The 5 color kit's right here, and all of the information that you could want is in there, and even more. So just follow the link and you can get you can find out everything you need to know. If you still don't have all the information you need, please always feel welcome to contact Judy at customer service or leave me comments. You're welcome. I have lots of hoodie patterns. I have the Elsa hoodie pattern that just came out in bulky weight, Be So Easy yarn. I have a number 2 sport weight scarf with hood pattern. I have several patterns that have hoods on them. I have another pocket shawl that we did in Be So baby yarn earlier this year that has a hood on it. Lots of patterns with hoods. You just have to decide what type of a hood you want and whether or not you want to follow a pattern or not. But you have to understand hood construction a little bit, because it has to be wide enough, it has to be tall enough to come up to your head, and it has to be able to close at the top. You have to decide if you want a point in the back or if you want some shaping. It's a little more complicated than it seems, but it doesn't have to be. Depends on what aesthetics you want. If you're looking to depends on how old your nephew is. If your nephew is a child, I have some children's patterns in Be So Caring, my 100% charity driven book that has some patterns for ages from baby through age 14, and there are hoodie patterns in there as well. The Elsa hooded tunic has a really great shaped hood on it, and then there's a scarf pattern in sport weight yarn that I did in 52 crochet gifts that has a hood on it as well, and then there's a crochet pocket shawl that was a crochet along last year. Can't remember the name of it either. I can't remember the name of every pattern off the top of my head, but there are multiple hooded patterns on my website. You just need to go browse and see what speaks to you. Poppy hooded scarf. Thanks, Judy. Yeah, the poppy hooded scarf has a hood on it in motifs that you could do. That's in number 3 bulky weight yarn. Then there's the pink one that was on the cover of, no, the pink one that was in 52 Crochet Gifts. That one is a scarf with a hood, also crocheted, and then Elsa. So those, and the Be So Caring ebook has, I believe, the Charlie hoodie in there. So there's 4 I can think of off the top of my head in a variety of weights of yarn. Number 2, number 3, and number 5. So maybe you'll find something you like there. I'm trying, Jane. It's not easy to remember. I've designed well over 800 patterns, maybe even closer to 1,000 at this point. I don't document them anymore. Anyway, I do my best, but again, I have wonderful search engines on my website, so you just need to use those search functions and decide which types of patterns you're looking for, and you can find just about anything. Yes, there are places to see all the patterns in each of my books. You need to go to the book pages. So if you scroll to the bottom of my website, there is a resource for looking at a web page for each of my books. You just need to scroll all the way down to the footer of the website, and then there's a link for each book to give you an information page. And 52 Crochet Gifts, along with all of my other books, are there. You can find those links on my website. If you can't find them, let us know. Yeah, gift giving season is upon us. You might want to check out 52 Crochet Gifts for resources. You might want to check out 80 Handmade Gifts, which is another book that is a great resource that I wrote for gift giving. It has chapters on knitting, crochet, cooking for gifts, sewing gifts, paper craft gifts, so many amazing things in there. So many resources. In fact, well, maybe I'll bring the gift books with me on the show one day this week so we can talk about them. So many great. I'm wearing the Margot Crochet top, and it is available, Sabrina. Judy has posted links to this pattern multiple times today. You can find it on my website, and you can also follow the show notes if you end up watching this later, and you can get the link to this top there too. It's a wonderful pattern, so fun to make, and so flattering on. That's okay, Sabrina. I know everybody comes in at different times. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the beach, the sounds of the waves, my show and tells, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye-bye.